and welcome to this week's VAR on Air segment. My name is Cassie Nguyen, one of VAR's interns, and this week our segment will be on Thank You America Monument and the history behind it. Our guest for this week will be Queenie Ngo from the District 7 San Jose office.
Hi, so my name is Christina Mai, and I will be taking over for Queenie for today. I am working on policy and legislature with the council member Bien Duan's office this summer under direction of our policy director, Grace Calander.
Thank you so much for your time here today, Christina. My name is Jay, and I am also a VAR intern. So we're here today to learn about the history behind the Thank You Monument, which there will be like an unveiling on July 11th, I believe, right? So we want to kind of go over the history, the significance of this monument, and better understand how this kind of like changes the dynamic of the Vietnamese American community here. So yeah, can you tell us about the significance of this monument for the Viet American community in San Jose?
Yeah, of course. So the Thank You America Monument holds deep significance for the Vietnamese community, but particularly for those who resettled in the United States following the Vietnam War. So this monument symbolizes the gratitude towards America for providing refuge and opportunities to Vietnamese refugees and immigrants. Specifically for our Vietnamese American residents living in San Jose, the monument represents not only an appreciation for the United States' humanitarian efforts during the war, but also acknowledges the sacrifices of American soldiers. It is our hope, our office's hope, that the monument may serve as a focal point for remembering the hardships of war, celebrating the freedom found in the United States, and honoring the resilience and contributions of Vietnamese Americans to their homeland. This monument will serve as a testament to the lasting bonds between two nations and the transformative impact of resettlement to those who fled Vietnam, seeking safety and a new beginning in the US, specifically in San Jose.
So this monument has been in the works for nearly 40 years now. What challenges have been faced in bringing this monument to fruition?
It's a really great question. So it all started back in 2011 when Mr. Nhiep Bui proposed to Councilmember Tâm Nguyen that a concert should be organized in recognition of Thank You America. So Councilmember Nguyen at the time began strategizing on how to expand this idea into the formation of a monument and proposed the idea to Supervisor Cortese. Supervisor Cortese supported the idea and guided the project to be approved by the County Board of Supervisors. So here was where the challenge started. A preliminary site was chosen at the County Plaza on Heading Street, but a front page article in the Mercury News, which opposed the project, ultimately halted development for quite some time. However, new sites were proposed, discussions and dialogue happened, and the project continues to this day. The current statue design was actually drawn by architect Nguyen Phuc Quỳnh Thuyen, who incorporated the two soldiers sketch by Mr. Tai Nguyen of the Vina Sign Company.
All right, yeah, thank you for that, Christina. And my question for you is going to be, how does the statue depicting an American and a South Vietnamese soldier represent the shared history between the two nations? And in this case, it's America and Vietnam.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. So overall, the statue depicts an American and a South Vietnamese soldier side by side together. It's supposed to represent poignantly our shared history, alliance, and mutual respect between two nations during one of the most pivotal periods in our shared histories. A few themes come to mind. The first one is that this monument actually is a symbol of alliance. The statue represents the military alliance and collaboration between the two nations during the Vietnam War. It signifies our joint effort and shared sacrifice in the fight against communism and in support of South Vietnam's independence. This monument also serves as a tribute to soldiers from both countries who fought and died together in the conflict. It honors their bravery, camaraderie, and commitment to a common cause, despite the challenges and the complexities of the war at the time. But beyond the military aspect, the statue also reflects the cultural and historical bond between the United States and South Vietnam during the war. It acknowledges the significant role played by American support in South Vietnam's struggle for sovereignty and freedom. Lastly, establishing such a statue is also a way to preserve and pass on the legacy of the Vietnam War for future generations. It prompts a shared sense of reflection on the complexities of international relations, war, and the enduring impact on both nations that were involved.
Yeah, thank you so much for diving into the history between America and Vietnam. I, as like a
You're
Vietnamese
welcome.
American, I am already pretty familiar with the Vietnam War, but I think this monument is a really, really, I guess, interesting way to add to the conversation that there is between like America and Vietnam. And I think this is just a really cool like thing that the city is doing. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on how this monument can contribute to the ongoing dialogue about the Vietnam War and its lasting impact on both American and Vietnamese communities.
For sure. I love that the Vietnamese youth are being engaged and interested. And in terms of a dialogue, by providing a physical space for reflection and remembrance, our team wants to help facilitate a deeper understanding of Vietnamese American history and a continuing legacy through this monument. The monument will serve as a gathering point for commemorations, cultural events, and even intergenerational dialogues, all contributing to building a strong, forward-looking tie and relationship between the United States and Vietnam. At the same time, we think that this monument expresses the gratitude to the American people and government for providing a safe haven for opportunities and a new beginning for Vietnamese folks. Overall, though, the most important component, though, is that this monument's presence will be here at San Jose, with the biggest Vietnamese population outside of Vietnam. This ensures that there will be a living part of the community fabric, a powerful acknowledgement of the challenges faced by the Vietnamese Americans, many of whom fled to the US as refugees.
From my experience, not a lot of people welcome the discussion of the Vietnam War. This monument is certainly a great way to address Vietnamese American history and culture. So what do you hope visitors from the Vietnamese American community and others will take away from viewing this monument?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Councilmember Bien Duan hopes that by establishing this monument, we are able to preserve and pass on the history, legacy, and contribution of both countries to future generations. Thank You America will preserve the memories and lessons from war and future generations. Our office hopes that visitors will find a monument a place of peace and healing to remember the heroes, Vietnamese and American, who fought for democracy and freedom. As well, we hope the monument will serve as a place to look onwards and upwards. With a thriving Vietnamese community here at San Jose, we have so much potential to work together across generations and strengthen opportunities for ambitious Vietnamese youth, such as the ones leading this very interview here.
Yeah, thank you for that. With Vietnamese Americans making up around 40% of the San Jose population and densely being populated in District 7, are there any special events or ceremonies planned to unveil this monument that is so important for the Vietnamese community?
Yes, so glad you asked. So yes, on July 13th at 11, we will be conducting a formal unveiling at the Vietnamese Heritage Garden. So there will be inspirational speeches, entertainment, and light refreshments for folks, anybody who's interested in joining us. Of course, there will also be ample opportunity to take lots of photos and commemorate this first of its kind monument. Our event is jointly sponsored by Councilmember Bien Duan's office and Mayor Matt Mahan's office. So we highly encourage anyone who can attend to join us.
Thank you so much for your time this evening. And yeah, because I know today was like a very hot day, and prior to this recording, we actually had a little bit of technical difficulties. So thank you for working with us through all of that. And I also just wanted to take a quick moment to also highlight our youth summer program called Seeds, which actually dives into a lot of Vietnamese history. We recently had a session centered around refugees and political power in Little Saigon. Or the segment was like, the session was hosted in Little Saigon. And so this segment is pretty relevant to what VAR's mission is all about, and also what we've been doing as an organization for the past few years now. I would like to know if anyone here has any questions, whether it's you, Christina, or Cassie or Peter.
No, no questions on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, cool. Again, thank you so much. And that's all for this week's Bar on Air segment.
Bye.
Thank you, Christina.